Quick. That white balance from that window is terrible. Well, it'll be fine. There we go. Give me just a sec, y'all. Let's see. As soon as we can mute that, there we go. Good morning, everybody. It is going to be a little bit of an impromptu cooking stream today. Y'all smart Alecks are out there going, today. They're always impromptu. At any rate, today I'm cleaning up my kitchen. It's raining outside. You can't see it. And since I can't do what I wanted to outside, I'm going to make chicken pot pie and then get to work on some stuff in here. That necessitates that I make chicken pot pie. So, first things first, we're going to wash the counters here real quick. Because you always want to wash the counter real good when you're working with dough. And since I have to do this anyway, it'll be a good excuse to do something until a few people wander in. Good morning, Ma. How you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm cleaning my kitchen at the moment, trying to get the counter ready for the flour so I can destroy it for about 5 minutes and then clean it again. That said, what are you up to today? Do you have anything fun planned for this lovely rainy Sunday? And if you do, let me know what it is. And if not, we should find something for you to do, something fun. Said we've also got coffee that I just made, although coffee's never the best right after you've just brushed your teeth. That aside, we're going to finish cleaning out the sink here, and then we're going to get going on this chicken pot pie. Come over here with me, guys. Maybe if I pointed at the window, the white balance will even out. There we go. Maybe we should retitle this stream Duffy Cleans the Kitchen. That being said, we're almost ready to get started here. Okay, that should do it. Now, you guys remember yesterday when I grilled up all that corn, right? And the chicken, well, we're going to put that in the pot pie. It's going to be great. Now, first thing we are going to need is to make the filling. And to do that, we need a pot. There we go. So, we've got the corn. I like carrots in my pot pie. I don't know if I've got peas. Let me check and see if I've got peas, because I would like to have peas in the pot pie. And if I don't, we've got celery and potatoes and some other things. So let's go check real quick and see if I've got peas. I'm kind of going to be disappointed if I don't. I could run out and get some, but then I would have to put the stream on hold. I don't have any peas. Blech. All right, well, we'll find a substitute. Green beans might be good, but I don't have those either. What I do have is, here we go, carrots. Now, the important bit is that we put plenty of good things in with it. I've got potatoes. There we go. Corn. We've got the corn from yesterday. And corn and carrots are always good. They're nice, sweet flavors. We've got the potato. What else? We've got an onion, which will be fine. we've got celery, which will also be fine. Don't you guys just love a well-organized, well-thought-out, well-planned cooking show? I know I do. Let's see. Last but not least is the star of the show. The chicken. Okay, so first things first, we do want to cut up our vegetables. Lima beans would also be excellent, and they're also something that I don't think I have. Let me go check. Oh my! I've got butter beans. Thanks, Ma. I appreciate that. That's a great idea. Okay. So we don't have peas, but we do have butter beans. And I've got a potato as well. Somewhere. Yes. Here we go. So this is going to be absolutely delicious. We've got to cut up a few things first. So we're going to set our corn aside because we don't need to do anything to it. But the first thing we want to do is to soften the harder vegetables like the carrots and the onions and the potato and things like that. So let's get going. We're going to chop them up real fast. And so for that, I'm going to bring you guys over here. Get my vegetable knife. We'll start with the onion, because you always start with the onion, because why not? Knock off the top. Knock off the bottom. And then the rest just kind of falls into place. Well, it would if this onion didn't have some weird little cleft in the middle, but it does. Isn't that weird? Huh? Oh well. And we're going to slice this real nice and thin, because I don't like big chunks of onion and stuff. If you do, just make your slices bigger. It's that simple. And when you get to the end like that and it doesn't want to stand up, just I woke up this morning and it was only 77 degrees in my house. I'm not happy about it. It means the cold is coming. There we go. Let's go stick this in our pot real quick. And be right back. I like these Chinese style chopping knives, these vegetable knives, because you can scoop up a whole lot of vegetables in one go on them. It's a lot of fun. Alright, next we're going to do our carrots. And again, and I've explained this before, I have a bag of these little baby snack carrots. And the problem with them is that they are not easy to cut. They're made to just take out and eat. They're also getting a little dry, but we'll fix that. What they are is a pain to cut up. Alrighty, delightful. You will note that the stove is not actually on yet.
Let's get our celery going. There we go. Maybe a little more. There we are. Let's get that over there. And away we go. Now, that should be enough to get us started. What I want to do is put a good little pat of butter in there. And get that, you know what? That's a little too much. It's almost not too much, but it's a little too much. So, we'll just do that. Now, of course, it doesn't keep it from sticking if you let it sit on the top, so you kind of got to work it down to the bottom. And just make sure you move it around to coat the bottom of the pan a little bit. I probably should have put it in first, but, you know, hindsight 20/20, all that. Which is actually an excellent point. There is a pretty big difference between baking and cooking. Oh, sorry. There's a pretty big difference between baking and cooking. Baking, it's chemistry, you know. It's sort of a exact science, you know, a ratio of X to Y to Z, your liquid to your flour to your glutens to your eggs to your binders to your blah, will yield a specific result. And so will it in cooking, but in cooking, you have a lot more leeway and you can tweak a little more than in baking. Good coffee. Let's get that butter down there so it can melt a little better. Okay. Now, I wanted to use the clear lid so you guys could see this, but it's in the dishwasher right now. So I'm just going to do that. But don't worry, we're going to open that up again in a minute here. It won't be staring at the top of a metal pot for the whole thing. What we need to do now, though, is to worry about getting our filling done. Excuse me, our crust done. The Bacon Maker! Hey, how's it going? I don't know why my notifications didn't alert me. I should have heard something. How you doing today? Let me see what's going on with that. Where is my notification? Why didn't it go off? It's supposed to be right there. Huh. Anyway, hey, let's see what you had to say. Oh, well, thank you. It's a good way to start my morning, too. I'm making food. I need to go and get flour to make the dough to roll it. Oh, actually, first, let's chop up our chicken to get that out of the way. And then we can be done with this. So how you doing today, Bacon Maker? Debating on what to eat. You know, I was, too, and I decided on chicken pot pie. Actually, I want to keep that piece for sandwiches, because that is a good piece. This looks like our chicken pot pie piece. Right there. And that one. And this will be our sandwich piece. For later. Alright. Wash our hands real quick. And we're just going to cut up our chicken here in strips. And I need to go uncover that pot because I hear it hissing and bubbling. There we go. Chicken! So how do you take your coffee, Bacon Maker? I like mine strong, bold, and with enough dairy to choke a small calf. Let's sweat those down just a little bit more. And then we're going to add some chicken bouillon. Except it looks like it's sticking together. Hold, please. Black with sugar. I do mine with cream but no sugar. There we go. That's the thing. I like the powder, but it sticks together too much. I prefer the granules. There we go. Maybe a little more. Was this one egg? Yeah. And that is about a tablespoon. Which will be nice because when we add a little water in there, it will become chicken broth. Weilers! Yay! So, what are your plans for later today? You going to be doing anything fun or interesting? As for me, I'm going to add a little pepper to this just because that's what you do. And that's what makes it tasty. A little salt. And I tell you, I like an herb flavor in these. So what I did, and also a little piquant. So I took some of these red peppercorns and pre-ground them so that I can use them a little easier. And they are wonderful. I love pink pepper, or red peppercorns, or whatever you want to say. It's not actually pepper. And I know I say that every time, but it bears repeating. And then I'm going to use some chervil, which is kind of like parsley and kind of not like parsley. And it's pretty wonderful. So that's going to be our herbs, although it couldn't really be a chicken pot pie without a little bit of sage. Sage is always good with chicken. There we go. And that looks like it's cooking down pretty good. So we just need to add water before it all sticks to the side. Which it kind of has. There we go. Uh-oh, we got some onions stuck to the side there. You know what we might do is transfer the pot so that that doesn't flavor that too much. There we go. You don't want any scorched flavors on anything. Much better. All right, so now we're going to throw this chicken in here. And then I'll see what you guys are up to. And last but not least, we'll tip a little of this grilled corn into here and let it roll. There we go. That's going to make a dandy pot pie filling, isn't it? Needs a little more water. There we go. We'll let that cook down a bit. Oh, speaking of coffee, thanks for reminding me. Coffee and cream. Perhaps, how are you liking Final Fantasy VII so far? It's pretty awesome, isn't it? I enjoyed it thoroughly when I played it. Okay, now, we need to make the crust for the pot pie. So, for that we're going to need a bowl. And for that, I need to dig around down here. Alrighty. Pot pie crust bowl. Yay! Alright. So, we're going to go get... wait a minute, we need the flour first. Flour! We're going to get flour and we're going to stick it in the bowl. We're going to make a little mound of it. In the center of the bowl. We're just going to eyeball that, like you do. Now let me show you guys this. You get a mound of it like a little mountain, and you take your fist and you make a crater so that when you put the egg and the other liquids in, they're in the center and you can kind of work with them a little bit better. Speaking of eggs, I have 2 left. No, 3. Good. We also want milk and chicken broth. Also, we want to give this a stir occasionally. I might have put it in a pot a little too small for it, but that's okay. It'll cook up just fine. Smelling good. Let's let that simmer. We are going to get milk. And we need to whip up a little chicken broth too. And since I didn't buy any chicken broth, we're going back to our bouillon. I haven't gotten much into it yet, about an hour and a half in, but you're enjoying it. Okay, so you're probably just to the end of the first Mako reactor then, huh? There we go, a little bit of bouillon in there, a little bit of warm water. And we'll stir that around a second. Until it's completely dissolved. Now this is an ultra concentrated chicken broth at this point. So we add a little more water to it, and that's about right. So we're going to take that and pour that in the middle of our little crater there. Let's get an egg. We are going to crack an egg into it. Carefully, because I'm cracking it directly into the bowl and I don't want shells in it. Little touch of milk, because I don't know, it makes the dumpling dough taste good. And here's the important bit. You want to season this before you start mixing it, because you want your seasonings to mix in. Little pepper, and we're going to season it the same way that we did the filler, so that the seasoning theme is consistent all the way through. So we get a little sage. And a little pink pepper. There we go. Now, I prefer to stir this with a fork, and a fairly sturdy one, because it makes it easier and it doesn't stick in big globs. You just met Eris. Well, then you are in for a bit of a roller coaster. You're just getting the game started. So if you just met Eris, that means you just fell off the bridge. Now we'll need more. So that ought to do it. Stir this up until we make a nice dough. And you want it into a dough consistency because we're going to roll it out and turn it into... Now, here's a trick. If you flour your hands with some of the stuff on the sides, you can touch it and it doesn't stick to you as badly. I won't say it all because it will, but... And I don't like to mess with it too much because getting it overworked means it's going to be tough. And if you just work it gently, just real gently, it stays kind of light and fluffy. The problem is at the expense that sometimes if you don't strike the right balance, it will start falling apart on you. And this is starting to do that, meaning that we could add a little touch of milk to it. Milk's good for that, right? Right. Okay, uh-oh. I have just stuck my floured hands directly into the milk, meaning that now my hands are the stickiest things in the bowl. That'll be mistake number one. But that said, I think that this is going to be fine. We'll just work it a little bit, fold it a little bit, until it starts sticking a little more nicely to itself. And then we'll roll it out. And try to make it into a topper for this. Yeah, you can really feel it start to get more plastic is the right word. It turns more of into a putty paste, and that's when you know that it's starting to stick to itself pretty well. And that's about the time when you want to flour up your surface here and turn it out so that you can roll it out. There we go. All right. Now let me, gotta check on the stuff bubbling over here real quick. Let me wash my hands real fast. Quickly and thoroughly. Ow. All right. Now it's time to kind of shift this around just a little bit so that everything kind of starts coming together. I picked the wrong pot to transfer this into. As you guys can see, it's ever so slightly too small. But like I said, that's okay. It's going to be fine. So, story stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But Bacon Maker, experiencing it firsthand is still always really, really fun. We're gonna, let me slide this back if I can. We're gonna roll this out and try to coat the bottom of a
casserole dish with this. And actually, probably ought to butter that real quick. There we are. This is not a clean or unmessy procedure. Just one that you can kind of contain if you're careful. Alright. So let's get this dough rolled out a little bit. Also, let's flour up our rolling pin so things don't stick to it, eh? There we go. My hands are still wet, and that was mistake number 2. As you can see, we've got water on the rolling pin, and if you get water on the rolling pin, things will stick to it because flour sticks to water, and then you have a problem on your hands. But that's okay, because we're gonna get it taken care of, and everything's gonna be hunky-dunky. Just got to get this crust rolled out wide enough to cover our pan and thin enough to be delightful and tasty. And then we'll whip up another batch for the top. This back a little bit. Now we slide it forward a little bit. Oh, we want it nice and thin. Okay. This should do the trick. Come on. Uh-oh. There's a thick bit, and then there's a bit that's too thin, so I know just exactly how to fix this. Plan B, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to make a mess, but at least it will center our crust. Kinda. There we go. Very nice. Let's go check on our vegetables here real quick. But first, what we're going to do is get a pie wheel and cut off this excess crust, because all it's going to do is burn sticking off the edge like that. And we're going to throw it back in our bowl so that we can use it for our next batch of crust. There we go. Pretty as a picture, huh? All right, let's set that aside. And back. We're going over here to stir our filler a little bit, which is looking wonderful, by the way. What I think we need to do for that is to add just a little bit of flour as a binder and thicken that up, because it's about ready for that. Perfect. Look at that. We can also turn it, well, off, really. We don't need to turn it down. We can just turn it off. A little more flour.
Thicken that right on up. There we are. I think one more little pinch ought to do it. Okay, very nice. All right, so top crust. Let's go. We already have a little bit of dough here, and we don't really want to mix that in because it'll throw our ratios off. So let's just go get our flour and another egg and start from scratch. We don't need as much this time because we already have some. We're just filling in the corners. However, the important thing to remember is you still want to season your dough. Actually, put our little. Because if you don't, it don't taste like good dough. There we go. Boom. There we are. Very careful once again. Put our egg in here. There we are. Wash our hands. Little milk. And we'll get the top portion of our dough going. Normally at this stage I'd wet it with the chicken broth from the filling, but I don't have enough. So, real quick, let's take a break to make some again. We'll rinse this out real quick. Once again, we'll get a little bouillon. Get our knife, knock a little chip loose. Throw that in there. That's the important thing to remember. Dough tastes like what's in it. If it's just flour and water, it's gonna taste like flour and water. If you put seasonings and flavorings in it, it will taste like your seasonings and flavorings. That is the secret to making good dough. It tastes, not surprisingly, like whatever you put into it. Gently kind of scrape this together. There we go. And now it's to the point where we can add the rest of the dough back into it. And just kind of combine it all together. Very nice. And kind of turn that out a little bit. And start gently working it with our hands. Actually, I need a little more flour to keep that from sticking, but you know, this is not going to be pretty, but I'm in a hurry today, so we're just going to ignore the fact that the dough is sticking to our hands. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Fold it a few times. Fold it and push it together. Fold it and push it together, kind of put it out flat, and you'll be able to feel when it starts kind of sticking together a little more and turning into true and proper dough, because as you fold it,
squish it, it will start to toughen up a little bit. And like I said, you don't want to let it toughen too much, because then it becomes like rock hard and crackery instead of like a nice crispy, delicious dough. I wish I had a little more flour. You know what? I'm going to get a little more flour, because if I don't, it's going to stick and go everywhere and be awful. Let me wash my hands real quick, guys, and I'll be right back. This is one of those cases when taking about 2 minutes to do it right is going to save you about 20 minutes doing it wrong. All right, here we go. Give me a sec. We're getting flour. Ooh, battered chicken from last night to Bacon Maker. That sounds marvelous, dude. Yeah. Battered fried chicken's always a tasty treat. Of course, since it's breakfast time, you could take and put it on top of some nice fresh waffles and get a little maple syrup and do you some nice chicken and waffles, which is also always a treat. Flour up our rolling pin, and here we go. Get the top for this going. The dough kind of goes the direction it wants to. There we go. All right, so now it's time to fill this thing. I do not stream from the same device I have Discord on. In fact, there is a second one over here that I use to talk to you guys. All right, so let's fill this little bad boy up real quick. And of course, there is a little extra room in this thing. So while we preheat the oven, let's crack open our butter beans. Sorry about the noise. Drain those out. And oh, you guys can't see, can you? Come on over here. We're just gonna sprinkle those bad boys right on top. Okay. Boom! There it is. All right. So let's try to get this thing covered without making a mess, or any bigger mess than we already have. And then we'll get it in the oven. And after that, I'm going to go start working on some stuff around here. Need to dry my hand. All right, here we go. Oh, good. I only halfway got flour everywhere. Alright, we're gonna seal up the edges of the pie really nicely. Tuck that in a bit. And we're going to take our little pie flute and cut off the excess. And we'll make dumplings out of those in half a second. And I'll show you how.
That why you don't have the live nerd roll? Yeah, no, I don't. I have not linked my Discord and my Twitch together yet, and I've been meaning to, but I've never really gotten around to it. Anytime I'm thinking about it, it just doesn't seem like the most important thing to do at the time. But that said, I do need to do that one day here real fast. There we go. Let's just crimp that down here. All right, now there's a pie for you. I'm gonna set that aside real quick. And I'm gonna show you guys something else. We've got plenty of dough left over. And so, what we're going to do is make dumplings. Let's just fold that back on itself and let it be. There we go. So we cut our dough into little squares. And since I don't have any chicken broth, again we're going to fall back on using the bouillon, which is fine. It's actually about to hit its expiration date here in a few months, and I've been trying to get rid of it so that, you know, it doesn't go to waste. And so we'll just put this over here to clean and get a small pan here to cook a couple of dumplings in. Alright, we don't need a lot of water because there's like 3 dumplings. In fact, that's probably too much. There we go. Okay. Get about a tablespoon out of there. That looks about right. Okay, ladies and gents, pot pie almost ready to go into the oven, but what we are going to do is brush it down with some butter real quick, and since, you know what, I don't want to turn on the microwave because it always kicks me off the stream, so we're just going to do a double boiler sort of thing here. Or better yet, just let it melt.
It'll be a whole lot faster if we quit screwing around and trying to get clever. There we go. See, that was a whole lot faster than what I was going to do. Okay, now we will take a brush. We will brush our butter around on top of this thing so that it gets nice and pretty and shiny as it bakes. And we'll pop it in the oven. Aha. And just in time too, because this is ready for our dumplings to go in. Yeah, if you're ever making something with a pastry crust like this, always keep a little chicken broth around to boil, and with the excess, you can make some delicious chicken dumplings. Pre-seasoned even. Now, while we wait on that, I will show you guys something. You guys got to see what I do for y'all. I have a hellacious cleanup to do. So, we're going to start working on that right now. Let's see, I was trying to figure, you must do, it takes 54 seconds. I'm surprised you have it down to such an exact figure. Hey, where's my scraper doodle? Everyone gotta have a scraper doodle. Yeah, I can already tell that needs salt and pepper. Oh, yes. All right, so somewhere I possess a small little dish scraper. I'll be doggone if I know where it is. It's probably in the dishwasher. Yep. Now, for our purposes, it's fine to rescue that from the dishwasher a little early. This is the point where you actually take and bring the garbage can over to underneath the counter so that all you really have to do is just scrape all the stuff right off into it. Just so long as you properly aim. I'm not just another pretty face, you know. kind of feel that anything that's sticking has been lifted up and it's all just powder. So at this point we can just grab a napkin and handle the rest of it. First part with a dry napkin. Oh, a little sticking back there. Essentially what we've made is paste. There we go. I need to do laundry today, otherwise I'd have a nice big towel to finish this off with. But I haven't and I don't. Alright. Uh-oh. Time to turn off them dumplings. My, those look good. And they're already ready already. So let me finish cleaning my counter here, and then I'll show you all these dumplings. It was supposed to be 5 seconds. Well, actually, interestingly enough, your typo is probably more of an accurate representation of the time it actually takes. You know what they say, just because you've arrived at the correct answer by accident does not mean that it's not the correct answer. Although that's not the preferable way of doing things like math or science, still, a right answer is a right answer. Give me just a second. We need to find something to get all the flour out of all these crevices. The first person that said, hey, I've got a great idea. We're going to put fine granular powder all over everything in my kitchen was a brave soul, but a foolish one. I'm also out of towel paper. Luckily, I went to Wendy's the other day, and I have some napkins. I normally don't go to fast food restaurants, but in this case, it worked out swimmingly. This stuff just doesn't go away. Alright, that's good enough for now. Time for dumplings. Okay, so we're just gonna serve a few up here so you guys can see them. Come on, you little bastard. So that I can eat them. That mouse is jumping all over the place, which means I've got something stuck to my screen. Oh well, I'm about to end the stream anyway. But jeez. So my streaming mouse is going all over the place, so might be time to end the stream. That said, let's try these delicious dumplings here real quick, and then I'm gonna work on cleaning up around here and doing some things that I need to get done today. We have delicious golden brown dumplings, steam coming off of them, so we gotta be careful. Absolutely delicious, absolutely wonderful, and it's from leftover dough from the pot pie, so cheers. Now, the one thing that I do regret is that if I end the stream now, you guys aren't going to get to see the finished product of the pot pie.
which is unfortunate. So what I think I'll do is probably yank it out of the oven just to show you kind of what it looks like. I mean, it's a pot pie. It's a big square of golden pastry. But what I will do is I'll put pictures in the Discord for you of the finished product after I cut into it, because it's going to take about an hour. And in the meantime, bon appetit. We've got dumplings. Let's see. Let's see who we're going to throw the stream over to. Who is streaming right now? We have got Kevin Crunch, Taradra, Spectrals and Sprinkles. I threw over to Spectral last time, which means I think this time we're going to throw it over to Kevin Crunch. First, though, let me let you guys get one look at the pot pie before we end stream. Then I got to get busy around here. Look at that, it's starting to get real nice and golden and tan and beautiful around the top. There you go. And when it comes out the final time, that'll be a nice golden brown. Let me get some. There we go. So, I apologize that you guys don't get to see the final product, but here's the thing, it doesn't look that much different than what I just showed you. It's full of the same stuff that we just cooked up, and it doesn't have much of a different appearance, so just imagine it in your head slightly darker and slightly browner. And you've got it. In the meantime, I'm going to go have a nice lunch of dumplings, clean up this mess, and then work on some projects around here. So I thank you all for joining me once again for cooking. Have a wonderful day. Stay hungry. And, well, you know, that's a bad thing to tell people, because, you know, what if someone doesn't have access to food? Well, I'm not going to overthink it. Stay hungry and have a great day. Bye.